Hello, boils and ghouls. My name is Ashley, and this week I watched Only Murders in the Building, episodes 1 and 2. And yes, I'm wearing a Beetlejuice shirt. No, it has nothing to do with this episode. I love this show. Anybody who knows me will tell you that this is my favorite show. It's got mystery, it's got true crime, it's got an awesome cast. And really, it was the cast that made me even want to watch this show in the first place, when you got Steve Martin and Martin Short in it, and also Selena Gomez, who's fantastic. And the guest stars are always great. There's so many this season. We're only 2 episodes in, and already a lot has happened. It starts off, it's all the seasons do. You already know who the victim is. Unfortunately, this season is Saz, and I was very devastated. Was anybody else, heartbroken that it was Saz? Because I love her. I love Jane Lynch. Saz is a wonderful character. And, my heart broke. I also didn't want it to be Charles. You go into it at first thinking maybe it's Charles, because that silhouette definitely looks more like Steve Martin than Jane Lynch. But, obviously, he was probably the target. He's coming to that realization 2 episodes in, that it was his apartment that was targeted, and it was his stunt double. I wasn't expecting the show to make me want to cry in episode 1. But like I said, I love Sass as a character. So I was already sad that she was the chosen victim this time around. But for people with a true crime podcast, these 3 were not picking up the vibe quick enough for my liking. But then again, I've been watching true crime stuff since I was 12. I guess they needed somewhere to go, right? Mabel wiping stuff up off the floor and assuming it's wine in the dark is reasonable. But she also looks at that oven door kind of suspiciously in episode 1. At least it didn't take them too long to figure it out. By episode 2, they're on the ball with it. Steve Martin, Charles, is worried and concerned for Saz pretty much right away. As he should be. And he hears this whistling in his apartment. Now, I need to know where that whistling was coming from. We see Saz in episode 2, and she says that she's just a figment of his mental breakdown. Or I think declining mental health is what she says, I think. So was that already starting? Is that why he hears the whispering? Because I don't remember, let me know if I'm wrong, anyone else confirming that they heard it as well. But I'd like to give an honorable mention to Gravy. What a cute little dog. Cute little cadaver dog, Gravy, that is retired but takes one step in that apartment and was like, there was a body here. But of course she's surrounded by people that don't know. So Gravy's out here solving mysteries before they even got started. I loved Gravy. I hope we see more of her because she was freaking adorable. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place. I didn't write anything down for this, so I'm going from memory. Bear with me. For some reason, the podcast gets a movie offer. Is that something that happens with podcasts? I've never heard of that happening before. But Mabel brings up a point that I've been making since probably season 2. While the Arconia is a large building, how many times can we do that? How many times can they have somebody pass in the building and make it a season, right? Although they've managed to have it happen with everybody this entire time, so they probably could. It's like I said, it's a large building. It's got a lot of tenants. People come to visit. Something could happen to a delivery person. They have options. But that will probably get stale and boring and predictable. And how many ways could people meet their end in an apartment building? So, as Mabel says, it's a flaw in their business model. So they're branching out to California. Can I say, I loved seeing Molly Shannon. I love Molly Shannon. I grew up watching her on SNL. So seeing her at a table with Steve Martin and Martin Short was just, I loved it. I don't like their portrayal of Mabel, accurate though it might be. I'm siding with her on that. That makes her look bad and hits her in the self-esteem. As also a millennial, I side with my girl. And considering they aged her up to Eva Longoria, I don't really know if the millennial vibe is one that this movie should be going with. But I do love that they aged down Oliver, and he's Zach Galifianakis and has no idea who Zach Galifianakis even is. I really liked seeing Eva Longoria give Mabel like good, usable advice and encouragement. Because, you know, we all need that, and it's nice to see. Oliver just really wants to do this movie so he's closer to the girlfriend. And when we see Meryl Streep, she says, wow, a lot's happened in a week. And I'm like, oh my God, we're 2 episodes in and it's only been a week and I feel like so much has happened. Anybody else feel like it's moving kind of quick? Like, yeah, we have 0 suspects, but I feel like a lot has happened. Like, between this sudden movie deal and Saz, and now they've met the people that live in the West Arconia Tower, which we've never even heard them mention before, I don't think. Because as Charles says, they're weird. They're normal people. They're normal people. It's Charles' side of the building that's weird. The rich, privileged people. Notice how it's only the people in the East Tower that have passed away in the building? Oh yeah, so one family makes sauce. Okay, that's a weekly tradition for some families. I'm from New York. My family didn't make sauce, but I know a lot of families who did. It's what you do. Although I will say, keeping the leg of ham in the shower, that's definitely weird. And don't do that. Nobody should do that. It's gross and weird. While they're in California, they go check on Saz, right? Like, Charles has his old driver come. And, you know, they're going to go he's going to take them on a tour of the city. And Mabel says, well, how about we stop by Saz's on the way? And he goes, well, good, because she's part of the tour anyway. And this is what I mean when I say nobody was concerned enough for people who run a true crime podcast. They rock up to her house, and there's many, many packages and mail just sitting on the porch. Immediate red flag. Immediate red flag. Anytime you see that, you know something's not right. Like, especially if you have a job like hers where you travel maybe for work, because Charles is getting these texts saying, oh, I'm covering for Bacula, so I'm out of town, by whoever got rid of Saz. Wanted to make it seem like she was still alive, because clearly Saz wasn't the victim intended in this case from this person. If you have a job where you travel and you're expecting packages, you usually arrange for somebody to pick them up or pick up your mail. You don't want it sitting out there getting ruined or stolen or indicating to people that nobody's home for an extended period of time. So seeing that should have been a red flag to all 3 of them. I think really, like, Mabel should have caught on. Charles was already worried about her. So, like, this should have been the time where Mabel says, okay, Charles, maybe you're right and something is wrong. But that's not what happens. And Oliver is just focused on getting this movie done so he can spend time with the girlfriend. So he's really pushing Mabel to get on board with something she's not entirely comfortable with, and I didn't like that. I know Oliver is designed to be the annoying one. Like, I know that that's his character, that's the point of him, but this is the first time that I saw Oliver and was like, dude, no. Because he's not taking her into consideration at all, like his friend at all. And he's pushing her to do something that she's very clearly not on board with and not comfortable with, because she doesn't like the portrayal of herself in this movie. And it doesn't seem like he even tries to understand. He just, like, grabs her and says, I need this. You know, like, a little consideration for Mabel would have been nice, Oliver. Just a little. But I understand, like, that's his character, but maybe it was going a little bit too far. So Charles runs into Bacula thinking that it's Saz, but he says, you know, I haven't heard from her either, and that's really not like her. It's very weird and concerning. And that's when he's like, okay, I'm done. Like, there's definitely something wrong and we need to do something. Mabel's finally on board with this movie and goes to tell Oliver when Charles says, hey, we gotta go. He gets a call from, I can't remember his name. He's like the doorman, but he also does the handyman kind of stuff around the Arconia, about fixing the window. Well, we know whoever took out Saz was across the way in West Arconia Tower. So they shot her through the window. They know that window needs to be replaced. So they leave a note with that guy pretending to be Charles. Sometimes I question the security at this building. Do they not have, like, cameras anywhere that would see someone leaving a note at that guy's desk that they could, like, run back and, like, watch a tape? Be like, you didn't see him, but when did you come back? Okay, you came back at this time. Let's rewind the tape and see who walked up. Although they probably would have been, like, disguised or something, and maybe you wouldn't have seen anybody. But still, Oliver and Mabel go to the West Tower to talk to the weird neighbors, the renters, Oliver calls them, which, excuse me, if you can afford to rent in that building, you're probably doing okay. And like I said, are they a little bit weird? Yeah. But really only because of the ham in the bathroom thing. Who didn't teach these people you don't hang ham in your bathroom? That's disgusting. Charles is going into like a full spiral. He has come to the realization that Saz was probably not the intended victim. Obviously, since they targeted Charles's apartment. But the whole reason they go and check over there in the first place is because Saz was investigating something on her own and had in her house notes about someone looking at Charles and the West Tower of the Arconia, and she must have been on to something. So maybe she had an idea that somebody was plotting against Charles and was taking it upon herself to investigate it to keep him safe, because that's her job. Episode 2 almost got me again with the tears when Imagination Saz says to Charles, "That's my job. I step in for my guy." Saz was out there till the very end doing her job. Now, I understand why they try to investigate these things on their own, because that's like the whole point of the show. It's like the storyline of the show. But they have an in with that detective lady, right? They're like this. They have numbers, whatever. Right? Like, they know her. Why did they not initially like reach out to her and be like, "Hey, something's weird. Just want to let you know because we have a history of things happening." You know, just put it out there. Make her aware of it. Doesn't even have to be official. Just say, "Hey, my friend went upstairs to grab wine and never came back. Just wanted to let you know in case anything happens." But no. Until, you know, the cop shows up at Charles's apartment after he's been confronted with crazy ex-girlfriend that managed to escape prison because Saz taught her how to parkour. There's so much going on. We are 2 episodes in and there is so much going on with this show. Saz is gone. Psycho ex-girlfriend's broken out of prison. There's weird neighbors that keep ham in their bathroom. The apartment Saz was most likely shot at from is empty, but it had a pig in the bathtub. Again, why are there pig and pork products in the bathroom in the West Tower? That better come to something. That better not just be some weird thing they throw in there and do nothing with. Why was there a baby pig in that apartment? It's like, when you sit down and think about it, it's almost overwhelming the amount of stuff that goes on in just these 2 episodes. There's still another tenant in the West Tower they haven't spoken to yet. And they showed him very quickly, and I'm pretty sure it's Kumail Nanjiani, who I freaking love. So, maybe in episode 3 we'll see his character, and hopefully he doesn't also keep weird things in his apartment. I can't wait until we start getting like a line of possible suspects, because we still have nothing. All we have is the intended victim was probably Charles. Charles is having a mental breakdown. They're making this movie. Mabel is not entirely in love with the idea. Oliver just wants to be close to the girlfriend, and he probably wants the money from making the movie. And we have a new section of the Arconia we're exploring. Another big question is, why would anyone want to take out Charles? Anyway, this video's been all over the place. I'm also filming it the day it comes out because I cannot get out of my own way sometimes. So, it is 11:05, and usually this is when my video would be going live, so yeah, I gotta go edit, and you'll see this later. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want, click like if you feel like it. If there's anything you'd like me to watch, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Be excellent to each other. Bye.